What is up, guys? Real Drift King here, just doing another tutorial video, review kind of thing. Figured out new setting. I'm sure a lot of people already know, but yeah, if you like this video, you want to watch me on Twitch, you want to follow me on social media, all my tags are below, but let's jump right into this. So, you open up Content Manager, you have to have Content Manager, and you have to have Assetto Corsa, and it's really, I feel like, mostly for drifters. I mean, I'm sure it could apply to road course, but essentially you open up your content manager, you go to settings, it'd come to a screen like this. You got to have custom shaders patch installed, so if you don't, it'll ask you to install it. And you come down to neck FX, and what it's going to do is it's going to actually have the head of your driver turn as you apply steering inputs to help you see around the corners, see people next to you. Before this, I was just using map buttons to look left and right, and it was really hard while the wheel was spinning. So what you do is you activate it right here. I leave everything checked. The red things are what I changed in addition to steering. So we don't want to look into the apex. That's more for like if you were going to use it for road racing. So you turn this effect gain to 0 and the tilt to 0 because you don't want the camera to straighten up, and that kind of turns all these settings off. Go down to velocity, turn that to 0, and then steering. I like 25% on a single 32-inch screen. A lot of people like 50%. This is your left to right. This is pretty much the only setting I ever adjust, and it's gonna tilt his head, or turn his head I should say, left and right. I started at 50 and it was too much, kind of disorientating on the 32-inch, so I like 25. On triples you probably want like 5 to 10 because you don't want it to look as much. You already got more field of view. If you're on a smaller screen, maybe more. I mean, there's people that run 200, but then when it turns it's actually outside of the door of the car, and I don't know, it makes no sense to me. So that's that. Last thing that we change is the steering tilt split to 0. And what we'll do is we'll deactivate it. We'll launch into a session. I'll show you what it looks like without it. And then I'll activate it and show you what it looks like with it. And like I said, if you want it to look more, go in, crank up that higher than 25, maybe try 50, maybe try 75, maybe try 100. You know, if you don't want it to look as much, you know, maybe try 20, maybe try 15. You know, it's one of those things that's kind of personal preference. So now you go in, and as you see, you turn left and right. Nothing happens. The camera stays stationary. Your guy's head stays stationary. When you turn, everything stays stationary. Not really going to go crazy. I'm just kind of going to do a little half a lap here and show you. So when you go to do your drift, everything stays stationary, which is easier to tell the angle of the drift you are because you're always looking where the nose of your car is, so you can tell how much angle you have, but then you can't really see the corners coming up or the car on the side of you, especially if it's a track you don't know, you're racing on a server that has a lot of people, whatever. So you get the point. Now we'll back out and we'll load up the game with it enabled with the settings that I recommended. Go to here, go back into your settings, neck FX, activate, go back to drive, launch up the same car, the same server, same everything, but with those settings. Game's loading in. And I personally, it took me a while to get used to. It's kind of like when you get new pedals, when I went from like, you know, non-load cell to load cell, or, you know, you go triples to VR. Every time you switch something, it takes a minute to get adjusted to. At first, I didn't think I was going to like it. And then I got tandeming and doing tracks I didn't know, and I really enjoy it. So now when you load in and you look, the camera actually turns left and right as you turn the wheel, which is kind of cool. So at 25%, full lock 900 degrees, you can see it goes that far. If you did 50%, it was even farther over, you know. Depending on what FOV you run, you're probably going to want it more or less, depending what view, if you're on the hood, the roof, cockpit, whatever. But now you can see, as you do your drift, he looks ahead, so you can see what's coming, you can see people next to you. It really does help for tandeming and transitioning, or when you're on a track that's like free roam, and you want to you're trying to check out where the next line is, because you don't really know, you're just kind of exploring. The only thing that made it a little bit more difficult is judging your angle. I almost feel like I have to, whatever my brain was used to turning in, I gotta almost tell it to turn in a little bit more, because since your head's turned, you feel like you're turned in, but you're not, you're just looking turned in. So I can assume this is kind of like VR, or, I mean, not like VR obviously, but essentially a little dose of like how VR could help, so you could see what's coming, but you could actually choose where you wanted it to look and how much at any given point. Or like probably more comparable to like one of the Track IR headsets, which I know you can actually use this in a combination with VR or a Track IR headset, you know, on triples, on singles. So, you know, I think it replaced the whole head motion race department mod pretty much. This seems pretty smooth. It's built into Content Manager. I don't know why you'd want to go install mods and have to launch a third-party application and maybe soak up some of your GPU performance if you're running on something that's already kind of struggling. I mean, I'm running on an old 1050 Ti until I get one of the new 3070 series, or 3080 probably, but I do not notice any difference as far as frame rate or anything like that, or choppiness or anything. So, but as you can see, that's that. Just want to make quick videos, so, you know, it might help someone out. It really kind of definitely makes it more immersive by far. I would say that's the biggest factor. You almost feel like you can feel the G-forces a little bit more, even though you can't. You kind of feel like you're in a real car, because you'd never just drive looking straight ahead. You'd be turning your head if you're going to crash into a wall to see the wall. Before, you couldn't see how close I was getting to those, and now you can. Or if there's a car next to me, I can see if I need to brake a little bit, if I need to accelerate, you know, get some more angle, whatever. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to watch some more of them, check out my YouTube, check out my Twitch, follow, like, subscribe, you know, whatever you guys do. Thanks for watching, and we'll end it on a big third gear rev banger off the limiter. Maybe a little reverse entry. Nope. But you get the point. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.